Hello YouTube, and welcome to this quite short video. Let me warn you, I did so many things on Emperor Titus Mede II that instead of telling everything again in a probably 3-hour long video, I just referenced to other videos along the way a lot. So if you want to have the full Titus Mede II lore experience, watch those videos that are in the description and maybe in the eye icon if I can find out how to do that. That said, this is more or less a preparation video to my speculation video on the Second Great War, which will air with an animated map somewhere this weekend or Monday morning, depending on where you live. With that behind us, let's quickly kick off with the video on Emperor Titus Mede II. Emperor Titus Mede II is the current monarch of the Tamrielic Empire by the time of Skyrim. We only meet him once in all the Elder Scrolls games. Well, that is not true. We meet him actually twice. We meet him in Skyrim in the last moments of his life, if you made the choice to join the Dark Brotherhood, to join the Dark Brotherhood. But we also meet him in the Elder Scrolls Legends, which tells the story of the Great War, which I'll be telling more on later in this video. He is the most recent member of the Mede dynasty to rule Tamriel, as far as we know. And for an entire history on his family, himself and recent events on Tamriel, please watch this video I did with Avarti on the Mede dynasty. It is quite the watch, I assure you. Titus Mede II was probably born somewhere around the 120th year of the 4th era as the son of an unknown Mede emperor, or maybe Mede prince at the time. His early life is shrouded in mystery, as we only hear of him for the first time when he ascends to the throne in the year 168 of the 4th era. He inherits the throne from his predecessor, an empire that is merely a shadow of the former Septim Empire. Valenwood and elsewhere have been taken over by either civil war or schemes by the Thalmor. Morrowind is largely independent, and while officially part of the Empire has no longer any authority over it. Blackmarsh has never even been part of the Empire within Titus Mede II's lifetime, having driven the Imperials out long after the Oblivion Crisis. Hammerfell is actually at the time in civil war between the Crowns and the Forebears, and only Skyrim, High Rock and Cyrodiil are still as peaceful and prosperous as they once were. Only after 3 years of ruling and trying to solve the problems within his empire, the Altmerry Dominion comes with a sudden ultimatum. The ultimatum, if agreed to, would have the Empire, among other things, pay large sums of money to the Thalmor, secede large portions of Hammerfell and outlaw the worship of Talos within the Empire. Titus knew that there would be war if he rejected it. He knew that the Empire was in no shape to fight, having dedicated all his resources on trying to solve the problems internally. Yet, he declined the ultimatum, and the Great War began. I detailed the entire Great War within my first video on this channel, on the Great War. You should watch that for a grand story including a visual map of the events, but do prepare for a bad mic though. Other than that, the video is quite good, if I can say so myself. But to summarize for those who are not interested in an entire video, the Empire was at the brink of being destroyed after a few years of war. Nearly all of Cyrodiil was captured by the Dominion, including large portions of Hammerfell in the west. The Imperial legions were quickly driven out of Cyrodiil with mass casualties, because the Altmerry army was using a special cheating item, as I would call it, the Orb of Vermina. They used this orb to scry the Imperial army's movements, and thus always being able to predict their moves and their weak spots. Titus Mede II wants to launch an attack on the Imperial city to retake it. However, this is impossible until eventually, the forgotten hero from the Elder Scrolls Legends, in a story that is told in this video, lifts the orb from Altmerry control and the attack can finally begin. After this, Emperor Titus Mede II can finally execute his master plan for taking back the Imperial city. However, at night, assassins strike at him, and he is miraculously saved by the forgotten hero just in time. However, the Emperor is severely wounded and in no shape to fight after the assassination attempt. But for the men's morale to be high, he actually has to join the attack, otherwise the Imperial soldiers won't be motivated enough. He then comes with a plan. The Emperor will coordinate the attack in secret from his headquarters, while the Forgotten Hero joins the fight, dressed up in the armor of the Emperor, so the men think that the Emperor marches among them. As said, as done. The Battle of the Red Ring begins, to take back the Imperial city. The small remaining forces of the Empire, led by the Forgotten Hero and the Emperor, completely destroy the entire Aldmeri army, that now no longer has the Orb of Vermina on their side. After this, the Emperor sees that continuing the war would be pointless, as Cyrodiil and all its defenses are completely destroyed. The troops are tired and all the defenses within the Dominion are actually still intact, so a counterattack couldn't take place. He decides then to give up the fight and live, and fight another day perhaps. He then signs the White-Gold Concordat, the infamous armistice treaty between the Empire and the Dominion that would outlaw Talos worship and secede parts of Hammerfell to the Dominion. It was a better deal than before the war, but not much better. However, the Emperor had shown that the Empire could still fight, deterring the Dominion from attacking again, unless they truly thought that they had the upper hand. This actually leaving Tamriel in the almost Cold War-like state we find it by the time of Skyrim. I mean, the Thalmor must have been shocked. The last few Imperial legions, which were all heavily damaged, taking mass casualties, completely destroyed their invading army at the Red Ring entirely after they lost the Orb of Vermina. And now, with both sides afraid of each other's power, we find Tamriel in a Cold War. That said, after the war Titus had other problems. Hammerfell fought on with the Dominion, and thus had to leave the Empire if the peace had to hold. And thus, Hammerfell left the Empire, and would fight the last few remaining Dominion troops on its borders, for the coming 5 years. There was also an insurrection in the Reach, with the Reachmen taking back their country. This was actually quelled with the help of Ulfric Stormcloak. This whole affair I will talk about in another video. All you need to know is for now that, well, Ulfric's hated for the Empire and later the rebellion started here. Actually, he called there his name as the Bear of Markarth. The rebellion of Ulfric would start in the year 201 of the 4th era, when Ulfric Stormcloak killed High King Torrik, on who I also did a video. I recommend you watch it. Except for the Stormcloak rebellion, the year 201 also marked the death of Emperor Titus Mede II. Well, possible death. If the Dragonborn has joined the Dark Brotherhood, he or she can actually kill the Emperor. And however, there is a big conspiracy that Emperor Mede himself actually contracted this kill. And this is all covered in this video on Titus Mede's son. That said, Mede dies here, and I personally think that he dies quickly regardless of the choice the player makes in the Dark Brotherhood questline. He's an old man by the year 201. And, well, probably doesn't have very much longer to live. All we know is that after his death, an heir or successor has ascended to the throne, as we can see here in Tullius' speech. Except for that, we know that Titus Mede actually has a military sort of military first policy now, because he has greatly expanded the military to be ready for our next conflict. However, you'll hear all about that in the video on Monday, or this weekend. I don't know yet when it will be uploaded. When I do a speculation with a map and animated stuff on it on the Second Great War and how a second attack would play out. And in there I also cover some of the troops. However, if you can't wait and want to hear about those troops, things, and etc., watch my old speculation on the Second Great War, which is, if I'm correct, without a map but full of calculations. So you can watch that if you want. Well, with that said, thank you all so much for watching. This has been, I must say, a very fun video to make. I actually like making it. But I'm not yet done shamelessly promoting things, as I have a channel here that actually makes Elder Scrolls lore videos in the same manner as I do. However, I think it's hugely underrated and you should definitely check him out. He actually did an entire part on the Civil War, on how it actually started, not on who is right or who is wrong, but he actually accounts a large portion of the Civil War, something that I haven't tackled yet and I think some of you might find interesting. So give his channel a watch. He is also in the description with this Elder Scrolls lore playlist. So, if you want personal contact with me, my Discord and Instagram are in the description. If you want to support me in a more personal way, my Patreon is also in there. You get your name at the end of every video. That's all the benefits that it actually has at the moment. And some minor things that are on the Patreon still. And a Discord role, of course. And if you like the video, like, subscribe, do those things. And, well, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.